Where is he?
Around the bend. Right there.
Pa!
We commend the soul of Mathew Giles the elder, departed May 5th, 1743, and we commit his body to the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Amen.
How you doing, Mathew?
All right, I guess, Mr. Parker.
I didn't get a chance to talk to you the other day after the funeral. I'm sorry about your pa drowning like that. You never can tell about those storms on the bay. Was just talking to your ma about your place here. You know, my property borders yours on the other side of those woods. I've been thinking of expanding lately. This property would fit easy onto mine. Your ma tells me you plan to work the land yourself.
That's right.
I don't think you know what you're taking on. There's a lot of work to keeping up the land, turning the earth, planting, harvesting, plus all your other chores.
I think I can do it, Mr. Parker.
Son, do you realize you're 2 weeks behind everybody else in planting? Look at those fields. Why, the only work's been done your pa did. Listen, Mathew, it's been over a week now and you haven't touched those fields. I could have this land ready for planting in a few days. I got the tools. I got 2 slaves. I just don't think you're going to be able to do it by yourself.
Well, I'm going to try, Mr. Parker. I'm going to get a plow and I'll start today.
Well, your pa always rented a plow from me. This year, though, I'm going to need that plow myself. I got a new field, and I really can't let it go. I'm sorry, Mathew. It's going to be a lot of work with only a hoe.
I better get started now.
You change your mind, boy. You know where you can find me.
Now, there's something for each of us to do. We got to do it just like we used to. When we help Pa. Now, Mark, you help me hoe up the ground. Keep the clumps of dirt as small as you can. And Luke, you follow along behind me. Take the clumps that are big and break them down some more. And Mary, you follow behind Mark. Do the same thing Luke does. All right, I'll start over here with Luke, and Mark, you take Mary over there.
How come I have to work with Mary? I'd rather work with Luke.
All right, all right. You go with Mark, and I'll keep Mary with me. But work, don't play. Mark, don't hoe so fast. Then you will get tired so easy. Don't you remember Pa always said to bend from the waist and hoe like this?
I know how to hoe.
Mathew, I'm going up and fix some supper now. How much longer are you going to be?
We're just about finished now.
Luke, run up and get some bacon out of the shed.
Mathew?
Hmm?
Why don't you go to militia muster again?
For harvest.
How long are you going to be gone this time?
Just a day, like last time.
You were gone 3 days a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, well, the muster only lasts a day, but it takes me a day to walk to Annapolis, and a day to get back here.
Pa didn't like to go, did he?
No. He said he couldn't afford to be away from the farm for 3 days, 4 times a year.
Do you like it?
No. But most of the men go. It's part of the responsibility of being a man.
I can't wait till I can go.
Well, all they do is they talk to you about your muskets, and they march you, and they check your muskets. It's not very exciting, but I guess it's necessary to protect us from the Indians. Take these hoes up to the shed, will you? Saw Mr. Parker over here again today.
I know.
Comes over a lot lately, doesn't he?
Yes. He needs more land, and he wants ours. He wants to become a big landholder, you know.
I guess that's right.
You're going to have to butcher soon.
I suppose he asked you again today if you'd marry him.
He's trying to help. You know, Mathew, it's hard to run the land without a man to work it. There isn't a widow around here who hasn't married again. It has to be that way.
I guess I'm trying to do all the work Pa did.
You're doing a good job, too. But there's still so much to do. You got to harvest all the crops. You have to know what to do with the tobacco, curing it, selling it. These are things your Pa knew. Something else I got to think about, too. Maybe not so much with you, but with the others. They need a Pa. And there's Mr. Parker's 4 children. What with his wife dying in childbirth last year. They need a mother. Someone who can cook for them, sew, do the housework. He's not bad, Mathew. He's trying to help himself and us.
I know. I'll go to the cellar and get some cider and fruit.
Get some of those apples near the door. They're going bad.
Are you going to marry him?
I don't know. We'll have to see how things go for us.
Mark!
I'm coming. You going, huh?
Thought I'd go down and see if I can get us some rabbit or squirrel for tonight.
Can I go?
Yeah, you know, Mark, so long as we're going out hunting, I figured maybe I'd show you the boundaries of our land. Pa always used to take me out at least once a year and walk me around the edge. And this year he was going to take you.
I know where there's some rabbits.
Let's go!
There he goes. You missed. You didn't get anywhere near him.
I'll get the next one. Here's one of the boundary markers I was telling you about. You know, Mark, Pa said when Gramps first came to Maryland, he worked for 7 years as an indentured servant, just so he could get a plot of land like this. I guess that's why Pa always felt he had to keep the land.
That why you want to keep it?
Yeah. Oh, I guess I could be a blacksmith or a cooper, but Pa always said the one thing a man could get here that he couldn't have in England was land. Well, this is my land now, Mark, and I gotta keep it.
Mother! Mother! 2 men! I saw them coming down the road. See? There they are.
You run and tell Mathew they're coming. Tell him to come up to the house. Go on, Luke.
Mark, I'm going up to the house with Mother. You go and water their horses, and when you're finished, then go and work in the fields some more. Luke, you and Mary stay here. Then go and help Mark in the fields.
This is Mathew, our oldest son. Sit.
Thank you.
Would you like something to drink? I have tea or cider, whichever.
Cider will be fine.
Mr. Pound?
Cider, please.
Mathew, will you get the cider?
How old is the boy, Widow Giles?
16.
How much land do you have here, Widow Giles?
About 150 acres, I guess. It runs out to a big oak tree by the point, over to the tip of the cove.
How was your tobacco yield last year? A hogshead, maybe?
Not quite. We use some of the fields for corn, flax, and I planted a small vegetable garden.
Thank you. I suppose we ought to get started. Now, do you understand why we're here? Maryland law requires that when a man dies, an inventory should be made of all his possessions. This assessment of his belongings is merely an attempt to let your husband's creditors and you know exactly what he owned and how much it was worth. The inventory does not require you to sell anything. I must see everything that your husband owned. It will not be necessary for me to see your clothes, nor those that belong to your children. Everything else must be inventoried. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Then let's begin upstairs.
Which room do you want to see first?
Suppose we start there and work our way back toward the stairs. I want to see his clothes first. There's nothing here. Let's see. 2 old check shirts. 1 shilling.
Old check shirt.
2, 3,
1
4 pair of old hose. 7 shillings and 6pence.
Hose.
1 pair.
7
old breeches. 2 shillings.
1 pair. Old breeches.
And
2 shillings.
1 old oak chest on a frame. 10 shillings and 4pence.
Frame.
1 great coat. 9 shillings, 6pence.
1 great coat.
1 counterpane. 1 coarse wool blanket. 1 linen sheet. 1 mattress filled with 53 pounds of feathers, cords. 1 chamber pot. Put them all at 5 pounds, 12 shillings and 6pence.
Pot.
1 oak table. 8 shillings, 6pence.
1 old oak table, 8 and 6.
3 rush-bottom chairs. There are only 3, aren't there?
Yes.
3 rush-bottom chairs, 8 shillings, 9 shillings.
3 rush-bottom chairs, 9 shillings.
Mark! Now, Luke, you're supposed to be helping Mark.
Well, he quit first.
I don't care. Now, you go down and you help him now. Now, Mark, you keep Luke down there with you. And keep working.
What are you gonna do? You're not working.
I'll be down to help you just as soon as Master Cook is finished. I have to stay in the house while he's there.
One spinning wheel. 8 shillings.
1 spinning wheel, 8
I think that's all in
shillings.
here. Let's move out to the shed.
1 iron wedge, a shilling.
1 broad axe, 1 shilling, 2pence.
1 broad axe, 1
Bacon,
shilling,
4pence.
Bacon, 4
Any other tools?
The hose the boys are using.
Let's see. 1 broad hoe, 1 grubbing hoe. 2 shillings,
1
4pence.
broad hoe, 1 grubbing hoe.
I think that's all I need to see,
2
except the
shillings,
livestock.
4pence. 2 pounds, 10 shillings, 7 pence. 7 shillings and 6 pence, cash money.
If Mr. Pound is prepared now, we can take the oath. The oath states that this is a true and precise inventory of your husband's worldly possessions. Do you swear that this is a true and precise inventory, Widow Giles?
I do so swear, Mr. Cook.
Can you write your name?
No.
Put a mark here.
How much is it all worth, Mr. Cook?
84 pounds, 9 shillings and 5 pence.
These proceedings will be duly deposited at the county seat in Annapolis. You'll be called upon to go there at a later date and once again attest to the validity of the inventory in the presence of your creditors. You might want to take care of this task during the next militia muster in Annapolis. Master Giles, you know that you'll be responsible for your father's place in the militia. You must appear with your father's firelock and 6 fixed charges of powder and ball. I suppose we might take some time now to talk about your future. I must inform your creditors of my opinions. That is, whether or not I think you can make payment on your loans. Do you understand? If you want, I could arrange for the sale of the estate. You could move to Annapolis and take work as a seamstress, possibly. And Master Giles, he could take work as an apprentice to a cooper or a blacksmith. Of course, Mistress Giles, you're still of childbearing age, and you may want to remarry. As you know, Mr. Parker lost his wife just about a year ago. He is a civil and successful gentleman, worthy of your consideration.
Thank you. Mr. Parker has spoken with me about that, and I have considered his offer.
I see. Well, do either of these possibilities sound good to you? If so, perhaps I can help.
I want to keep the land and work it myself.
There's a lot of work here for a young fellow. You ought to consider Mr. Parker's offer. After all, he could make the land quite productive, and you could still work the place.
Master Cook, my pa's pa worked for 7 years as an indentured servant. And when he was done, this is the land he got to keep for his own. My pa kept it. He said that was important. And he worked it till he died. Even if all we get off this land is enough food to eat, that's all right. It's still Giles' property. Don't you see? If we gave it up now, all that work would have been for nothing. That's why I want to keep the land.
I see. I think you should work this land. I believe you can do it. I believe that.
Did you hear?
Yes.
Right here is Harris, who makes it all possible by letting the ladies rehearse in her basement